Hey, hey, hey. Tell us where you are. How are you tonight? Thanks, Tev. This has been a long but wonderfully blessed day. And as soon as I finish this, I'm going to wipe this makeup off. We had a interview today with Black America TV, which is a show that celebrates and pays honor and recognition to Black America. And it's a CUNY television show in New York City. And so they featured and they interviewed us today. It's going to air on March 29th. So we'll be sure to share the link with everyone so you can check it out. So yes, I had my makeup done this morning. That was a long time ago. And then I just left Destination Newark. Shout out to our media partner, Destination Newark. They hosted a complimentary reception at the Grammy Museum in Newark, which is featuring the Whitney Houston exhibit. Y'all, it is so dope. If you have not been, you should really check it out. It's really good. Whitney Houston is just amazing. One of the greatest to ever do it. And the tribute and the exhibit is amazing at the Grammy Museum in Newark. So if you have a chance, you should check it out. I don't know how long it's going to be there, but be sure to just go by if you can to those who are in the area. So just came home from there, literally just walked in the door. And now we are getting ready to have our founders chat with Roshanda Pratt of the RoshoLive. I see she just joined us. So, Roshanda, when you're ready, you can send me a request. You already did. I'm going to accept it in just a second. We have some folks who are telling us where they are. If you're just joining, I'm Aisha Taylor Issa, founder and CEO of the Sisters in Business Expo. Thank you for being with us tonight for our founders chat. Hey, Pam Dorsey of Columbia, South Carolina, by way of Greenville, of Dorsey Enterprises. We have Angela Joy of Joyful Candles. She was a Newark vendor last year. We have Bar Divas, a mobile bartending service in Brooklyn. Y'all know, shout out to Brooklyn, BK all day. But she serves all 5 boroughs in the surrounding states. We have, hey, Trinity Scribes, one of our ambassadors, Levine Gas. Who else? You got to tell us where you are. Angela Tazzino, author of Organize Your Life in 37 Minutes on Amazon. Thanks for being with us. Wanda's Health Massage. Hey, one of our vendors in Columbia last year. We hope to see you with us again this year in South Carolina. And yeah, y'all keep coming on in. We're about to get it popping. Let me add Roshanda. So I hope everybody's having a great week. Yesterday, March 13th, officially marked our 1 month mark. Hey! For the expo, and we are officially 1 month away from our launch, from our 2019 first stop in Newark, New Jersey. So it's crunch time. On that day, Instagram and Facebook decided to go down. We were able to get our one post out announcing that it was the 1 month mark, but it's cool. That's why we have an email list. That's why we have a website. That's why we have other means of communications. So we sent an email out to our subscribers, just reminding them and letting them know that there's other things you can do when social media is not working.
Right.
So yes. So we're really excited because right after Newark is like back to back to back, and it's going to be a great year. We're claiming it. And so tonight we are excited to have Roshanda Pratt with us. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey. Hi.
Hey, girl. Hey. Thank you so much for being with us. And so, no problem. So
I got your email about, I think you gave a list of five things that you can do when social media goes down. Yesterday was painful. It was painful on so many levels. So
Mm-hmm.
that was really good. So thank you so much for sharing that. It was very helpful, and it was a great lesson in what happens when you're renting property. I'll
That's
just
right.
sip tea on that.
That's right. That's right.
You own
You
your
know,
website, you own your email list, but when you're renting, your landlord can pull the AC at any point in time he wants to.
that's right. That's right. And we build so much of our businesses around social media,
Yeah,
that when they aren't functioning and operating, and this is not the first time it's happened. This has
right.
happened many times before. So you would think we would learn. Hopefully, some folks did learn from the last
Hmm.
times this happened. That while social media is a great tool and it can be one of the main ones, it cannot be the only one.
Right.
That we have to diversify our means of communication, our
For
means of
sure.
marketing,
Hmm.
and all of that. So yeah, we made it through the
Yes.
crash, the first crash of
Right.
2019.
Right.
We'll see what the rest of the year brings. But I want you to thank you for not just being with us tonight, but for being a sister and a supporter of the Sisters in Business Expo since we launched last year. We were so delighted and blessed to have you with us in Columbia, and to be our motivational moment speaker and to set everybody straight. So I definitely am grateful that those who were not there and didn't get to meet you will get to meet you tonight. So
Thank you.
I'd like to let people introduce themselves, tell the folks who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my government name is Roshanda Pratt, but I'm known in the digital streets as the RoshoLive storyteller, live stream strategist, and heartfelt producer. I take the 20 years experience I have working behind the scenes as a television news producer, executive morning show producer, and on-air talent, sharing with people on how to find their voice, clarify their message, so they can go impact the world with a really great story using media, whether it's online media or whether it's actually on-air media.
Okay. So talk a little bit about your career outside of your own personal brand,
Sure.
about what you did prior and how that helped to build what you're doing now.
Sure, great question. So I started in television, fell in love with this platform called television news when I was in the 4th grade. My mom
Wow.
and dad, yeah, my mom and dad are from the beautiful country of Trinidad and Tobago. So
I
big
didn't
up
know
to,
that.
yeah, girl, I'm a
Okay.
yeah,
How
big
you end up in South Carolina?
girl. It's a long story.
Because I'm from Brooklyn, so
Right,
I'm the foreigner
right, right.
where I'm from.
But I did live in New Rochelle, New York. So, and
Okay.
East Orange, New Jersey. So there's some time.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So, my dad, my mom and dad are from the beautiful country of Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, big up to all the Trinis.
Yes,
And
Tevil is a Jamaican gal.
yeah, and dad, when I was in the 4th grade, would make me watch the news, and he told me that this is your country. I should know more about it than you do. So he would make me
Mm,
watch the news, because he said you should know what's going on in your country and your community. And he
mm,
sparked this love of storytelling, but specifically just being in the know. Then I didn't know it was journalism. I wanted to be a writer. So I was kind of
mm,
going in that track. And then by the time I got to high school, I realized that it's broadcast journalism. And I started the journey of wanting to be on air. So I wanted to be an anchor with the perfect anchor hair, the anchor suit, that kind of thing. And
mm,
started behind the scenes, working my way up. But I really got kind of stuck as a television news producer. And I've had the great pleasure, I tell people, to cover any big story you could think of over the last 20 years. I've had the pleasure of covering it, from 9/11, the war on terror, high profile murder trials, the death of
mm,
Ern Dale Hart Sr., the removal of the Confederate flag from the state house property in
mhm,
Columbia, South Carolina. So I've
mhm,
really had an opportunity to help write history. But in that, I realized that I was really called to be in the forefront, not behind the scenes as the producer, writing the
mhm,
words that the anchors will read on air. And so
mhm,
after going through my own journey of finding my voice, I embraced this platform of live video on Periscope about 3 years ago.
mhm,
And the RoshoLive just took off. And before I knew it, I was developing a brand while working at the TV station, and people didn't know me as, oh, that's the executive producer at my local CBS station. They knew me as,
mhm,
oh, that's the RoshoLive. and wrote a book that became an Amazon bestseller. And next thing you know, my coworkers are asking me questions about how do we do this thing called live video. And then I started to think, I may be onto something here. And so I'm happy to say about 6 months ago, I left television news to pursue full-time this thing called the RoshoLive and helping people amplify their voice and monetize their story.
Yes, yes. Congratulations on that. Let's talk a little bit about that, because I think that for a lot of entrepreneurs, that's something that many people aspire to achieve. Some, some are not interested, and that's fine too. But it can be an intimidating journey moving from full-time employment to full-time entrepreneurship. So can you talk a little bit about what that transition was like for you, how you prepare for it, and how it's been so far?
Sure.
Well, I got to plug up my computer because it's about to die. Go ahead.
No problem. So let me start with the people who don't want to leave their job. You're not called to full-time entrepreneurship. And that's not a call for everybody. And that's okay. But maybe you're called to still work at your job while you're building your platform to leave your job. So what I want to encourage you is this. Are you ready for this? Your job is your first angel investor. See, I will never talk dirty or bad about my last TV station because they helped fund some of the things that I was doing. So they're your first angel investor. With that being said, when I decided to leave television news and decided to pursue full-time entrepreneurship, one of the things that I did was I really bathed that whole thing in prayer. So I talked to the people that I'm accountable to, spoke to my husband about it, and really just saturated the whole thing in prayer, right? So that I'll know, okay, this is what God is leading me to do. What are the steps that he wants me to do? And then the second thing is, the practical stuff. Started looking at how I can position myself. Started saving some money, looking at those kinds of things, and really started saying to myself, okay, how can I position myself? Like once I leave that Friday, Monday morning, I'm coming out the gate. So how am I going to do that? And the thing that's just been a blessing doing that is while I was at the station, I was already creating a brand. I mean, I ran out of vacation time because I was doing speaking engagements on the weekends and then coming back to the TV station on Mondays, right? So I had already started developing a brand, which is maybe the second lesson after, your job as your first angel investor. You guys, if you're ready to transition out and you're looking to transition out, you should be building while you're working. Don't wait till you leave the job and say, okay, now I can build. Start doing some things, long as there's not a conflict of interest. And I was very honest with my employers about what I was doing. But long as there's not a conflict of interest, build while you are there. So then when you leave, you've already set yourself up in a position that you can do so. So honestly, how's it been going? Busy. We are traveling every weekend this month. So this weekend it's Myrtle Beach. Next weekend it's Charleston. The last weekend of the month is Arizona. Then we'll be in Nashville. And those are all speaking engagements. We've launched some strategic partnerships. I mean, things are going well. Why? Because I put in the work while I was there. And you have to understand, I was working an overnight shift, sis. 3 a.m. to, this is before I had baby show, 3 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Wow.
And leave there and then come work my business because I was passionate enough that this wasn't a hobby for me. This was a legacy for me. And this was my way out.
Wow. Yes, honey, sip that tea because you're dropping all the goodness. That is amazing. I think what you said is so key and so powerful. You really kind of have to work towards that, and yeah, no shade to your current employer. Thank God for your current employer, that they are providing the means for you to be able to sow into your dream, right?
Who knew, sis? Seriously, who knew that 20 years, I mean, God knew, 20 years of working at the television news station, that studying it, getting a degree in mass communication, all of the things that I did, internships, all of that grunt work would help me now teach people how to do live video correctly. For what I did for 20 years, because I know it's good TV and I know it's not good TV, right? Because I've seen it, I've done it. And so I take all those years experience and now I'm able to leverage that and use that to help entrepreneurs, business owners, and brands and corporations to really leverage their voice. Amazing.
It is amazing.
That's
So let's talk a little bit about live TV, okay? And
yes,
I don't want you to give them too much because we want them to come to you for the real nooks and crannies. But
yes.
why is live TV and live media so important for an entrepreneur today?
So much to say about this. Well, the reason why it's so important is because it instantly helps you build that know, like, and trust factor. People love video because it's in real time. It's real. So if I'm sitting here talking to you and my 16-month-old walks in the background, that's real life.
Right. Like my husband making noise and I'm trying to shush him.
Right. It's real life. Acknowledge it. And you know what? People appreciate that because now they're saying, this is a mom just like me because stories connect us. And this is the way you can tell great stories. And they're saying, this is a mom just like me. She's doing live video and she has a family, but she's making it happen. Right? Right. Why live video is so magical, it's just like what I've learned years of working in TV. Words and pictures make the perfect marriage. So now you have an opportunity to be before people and they get to experience you in real time, in real life. It is not edited. It's not finessed. This is what it is. And people now get to not just say, oh, I'm going to buy this cup because it's the RoshoLive. This is what they get to do. I'm going to purchase this cup because I experienced the RoshoLive. There's a difference. And that's what live video does.
So are there like direct benefits, and what are some of those direct benefits that kind of come as a result of getting people to know, like, and trust you?
I'll share my story, right? So here's my story. Started on live video 3 years ago. I didn't have a fancy background. All I had was a message in my heart, and I believe I had something to say. So I would get on Periscope, and I was in the little corner of my bedroom. Seriously, because the lighting in there was amazing. And I would have the light just directly on me, right? Because people need to be able to see you. So that means we don't have light behind us and you look like a halo, especially if you're African American. No, take God's beautiful, glorious light and put it on directly on your face, right? And so I would just sit there and I had a white background, white wall, and I would just talk about media. Well, what happened from that is I was able to move people from Periscope and move them to a private Facebook community. Building a tribe and a community. That's number one benefit of live video. The second thing that came from that is the more I started to do live video, the more people would share my video with other people. So those people became my brand ambassadors. So then my brand ambassadors open up doors that people are like, wow, she's this energetic. She's this knowledgeable on video. What would she be like on a stage? So it opened up an opportunity for me to do speaking. Okay, another opportunity. From there, I decided, wait, people keep asking me the same questions about live video. So why not write a book about it? So I wrote a book, became an Amazon bestseller, CEO of live video. Side note here, I took a challenge and wrote this book while I was 7 months pregnant. Wow. So the book came out October 5th. Baby show was born November 5th. I don't know if I was crazy or just delirious from contraction. So I tell people babies and bestsellers. But a book. So now I become an authority and now I created a stream of income. All of those things came from consistently providing value and consistently realizing that my visibility is power, my visibility is impact, and my visibility is profit.
Wow. That's so powerful. And you know, more and more people are starting to do live video, but I'm sure as the CEO of live video, you would say that some people ain't doing it quite right. So what's one, maybe two things that you know, when you see it, you're just like, and you want to help our people on today know, don't do that when you do live.
This is by far my favorite question. I live for when people ask me this question. Okay. So I'm going to give you two things. And these two things, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, your audience also hates it. They haven't told you that, but they've told me that. Because even when I poll people, when I go and speak at events and I mention these two things, people say it all the time. I hate when people do that. The first one, I'm going to go ahead and say, your neighbor is notorious for doing this. Not you who's watching here. You right. But you've seen people do this, and you've also seen celebrities do this. And I'm going to tell you, it's a no-no. It looks like this. I'm going to demonstrate it. Hi, everybody. It's the RoshoLive, storyteller, live stream strategist, and heartfelt producer. I'm so excited. I have something really important, a big announcement to share with you. But I'm going to wait for a couple more people to come in before we get started.
Mm.
And then there's crickets. Let me tell you why you shouldn't do that. Okay, number
Okay.
one, the reason why you shouldn't do that is because when you do that, you are, you know, people are scrolling, right? Stop, watch, and listen. If they took the time to see you pop up and they took the time to hit play and enter in, you got to give them a reason to watch, then just say, hey, I'm going to wait for a couple more people to show up. Number two, the person who did show up, whether it's one, whether it's two people, you alienate them and make them feel like chopped liver. Because they're like, I'm here on time. Why do I have to wait for it to be 10 people before we get started? I'm here. I'm present. It's almost akin. You ready for this? For you going into a store and you walk into the store and no one greets you. It's the same experience. You know how much you hate that. You walk into a store. What am I? I'm walking around here. No one said anything. I'm invisible. What's going on? It's the same thing. So you don't want to do that. And the other thing is people don't want to waste their time. And so if you're sitting there talking about, I'm going to wait for a couple more people, I'm just like, give me a break. Look, people are commenting right now. I hate that. People hate that. So I know what you're saying. You're saying to yourself, well, Rosho, what should we do? Because I have something big to say and I don't want to keep repeating myself. And I mean, I want to make sure everybody hears it. So this is what you do. Before I tell you that, I'm going to give you one more example. When you go to your favorite show, whether it's CSI, whether it's Love and Hip Hop, whether it's Real Housewives or whatever series, whether it's Dancing with the Stars, whatever, don't they start the show on time? When you're watching the news, do they say, oh, we're just going to wait for a couple more people to turn on the channel? They started.
Right. Right. Regardless of who's watching.
We're just going to start and you're going to catch up or you're just going to have to hit replay. It's the same thing. Treat this like your broadcast. Treat this like your show. So get started. So how do you stall or buy time? Here's what you do. Hi, everybody. It's the Rosho, storyteller, live stream strategist, and heartfelt producer. So excited. Got a big announcement for you, and we're going to get started here in a few minutes. Want to say hello to a couple people who are watching. Crystal Lux, good to see you. Thank you so much. She just said the show must go on. Listen, if you're watching live or if you're watching in the replay, hello. Say, hey, girl, hey. Let me know where you're watching from, and hit the share button because sharing is caring. You just bought time. So that means we got a live stream with purpose. That means you got to come in here and say, okay, I know where I'm going and where I'm going to lead people. So that means I need to say hello to my audience, not a 15-minute roll call. Nobody wants that. Say hello, engage with them, connect with them, and that will buy you time while you're waiting for more people to join in. Works every time.
I'm soaking it in, honey. Yes. This is good.
Come on. And here's the thing. People, okay, so the second thing. People miss the opportunity.
I hope y'all are getting this because people pay top dollar for this kind of information.
Yes.
So I hope y'all are taking notes. And before she gives the second one, if you have any questions, because at the end we're going to open up for a few questions.
Yes.
Go ahead and start typing them in. We want to be sure to try to get to your questions. So if you have questions for Roshanda on going live or anything related to live media or business, be sure to drop it. All right, go ahead.
Thank you so much.
I'm ready.
So the second thing I will say is that people come on and they don't have an intention for the show. So they come on and they're just kind of figuring out and they're winging it. You know, they start with one topic and then they go to a next topic. Nothing's connected. And you feel like it's all over the place, right? So what is the intention of the broadcast? Why am I doing this video in the first place? What value am I providing, right? Because again, everybody, you just said it, there's a lot of people who are going live. If someone takes the time to stop, watch, and listen to you, then you better make it worth their investment. People invest time. I know I do. I don't waste it. So you have to make it valuable. What is the reason why I'm here? And so with that being said, then you have to lead them into what you want them to do next. Tell people what to do. Like I just told you guys, hey guys, hit the share button. You know, sharing is caring. Or make sure you tag your business bestie in the comment section. Tell people what you want to do. Because sometimes people are so caught up in how great the content is, they forget like, oh man, I should have shared that. Or, oh, I should have tagged such and such. So it's your job as the producer to tell people what you want them to do.
Y'all share this video, okay?
That's exactly right. Share.
Right. And I think the language that you use is so key too, right? Like thinking about it as a show, right? And not just I'm going live to talk to some people. You know, when you begin to think about it that way, then you think about the components and what makes up a good show. You know, I think what happened with live, and you can tell me your thoughts on this, is that when live video on social media first came out, I think a lot of people ruined it for us, right? Because folks were just going live for everything.
Right.
Like walking down the street going live, talking to my cousin going live, in the bathroom going live, and it became annoying. Like I remember writing posts, like statuses saying, "Oh my God, I hate this live video. Like, why did they come up with this?" Because people were abusing it and starting to go live for just the most, what seemed to be ridiculous things. And so there had to be, I guess, this shift or in the thought process of live being used to actually be a benefit. You know what I mean? How do we begin people to start thinking that way?
You know, I remember that when we first started on live video, a lot of us were just figuring it out. I mean, I had 20 years experience in TV, and I was still trying to figure out, like, how does this platform work? How does, you know, you get the viewership? How does this stuff work? And we're still figuring out because it changes so much, right? And, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are going live showing them eating a sandwich. A lot of people going live abusing the platform, right? Doing things on live video that no one should see, right? And so we had a lot of that going on. And I definitely think there's a shift and a change of people like us who are broadcasters who are saying that, you know what, we're going to use this with intention. I believe that social media is a great place. I have great social media connections and great people. I mean, I think about when I got pregnant with Baby Show at 40. 40, y'all. I was not thinking this was a baby. They told me it was a hernia and it was a whole human being in there. 40. But you know what helped me get through that? I mean, not only my faith and my family, but my social media community. They call themselves her internet aunties. Helped me get through that whole process and the shock of that, right? And so I do believe that social media can be a very powerful place. But I think it goes back to people like us and many of you guys who are watching, taking ownership of this experience and calling people out when they're doing the nonsense. I will go live in a minute with what I call, a social media PSA. And it's like, you've got to stop this. And I'm really on a mission of people realizing that they're a messenger, they have a voice, and to use this for good and not for evil. That's my personal mission.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I have one more question for you. Well, before we get to that, again, reminder to everyone, if you have any questions for Roshanda, take advantage of this amazing opportunity. Ask them in the comments. We'll be sure to ask them because the information is just so valuable and so critical to us as business owners in seeing the value and the return on the investment of spending time to do live video in a wise way.
For sure.
So what are your top 3 tips in general for women in business who are either just starting out or really trying to take their brand or their business to the next level? What do you normally say to someone who asks you something like that?
Great question. So number one, embrace the mess in your message. I meet too many people who want this thing to be perfect, whether it's live video, whether their brand to be perfect, all of that stuff. Your audience doesn't want perfection. They just want progress. They want excellence. So no one's looking for you to be perfect because your audience is always struggling with perfection. So there's times I've done live video and my light fell over. I simply just say, guys, my light fell. Give me a second. And I go fix it.
Right. Like I had to go plug my computer.
That's right. It's real life.
It happens, right?
It happens. So embrace the mess in the message because the word message contains mess. Nobody wants to hear your perfect story all the time. So that means you need to tell them the story from a healed place, not from a broken place. So that means I need to tell people the whole part of my journey. People sometimes see our glory, but don't understand the story. We need to talk about the journey of getting there. That's number one. So embrace the mess in the message. Number 2, you need to get a mentor. I cannot say this enough. A lone ranger is a gone ranger. Tweet that. Snapchat that. Instagram that. A lone ranger is a gone ranger. Long gone are the days, ladies and gentlemen, when we're trying to build a business, we're trying to do something significant. But if you're doing something significant and it doesn't require people, it's not that significant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about you and the expo that you do. That requires a lot of people, right?
Yes, Lord.
Because it's significant
Shout out to
work,
the Red Shirt Brigade and
right?
my family and my
It's
husband, because it
because
would
it's
never happen with little
right
old me.
because it's significant
Hmm.
work. So that means you
Yes.
need to invest. What does invest mean? Invest your time and your resources, your money, your Benjamins, your guap, your coins, whatever you want to call it. You need to invest in someone who can see further than you can see and that can take you to the next level and hold you accountable to your dreams. So, number one, embrace the mess in your message. And number two, invest in a mentor, invest in a coach. And number three, one of the things that I would say is, and I'm learning to do this myself, enjoy the journey. What does that mean? Enjoying the journey sometimes comes with challenges. You're a business owner, sis. I know you could understand that, right? There's been some challenges doing this expo over the last couple of years. There's been some challenges taking it to different cities, right? Sometimes we look at challenges and we say, oh my gosh, that means I'm not supposed to do this. That's a sign from God. I'm not supposed to do that. But here's what I want to encourage you today. Look at challenges differently. Maybe the challenge is coming because it's a sign that you're supposed to be doing that. I found my voice as a storyteller and live stream strategist after a home invasion at gunpoint. 6 years ago, it was the Monday after Father's Day, 9 a.m. Someone kicked in our front door and held me and my husband up at gunpoint while our children were down the hallway in another room. You know what I told myself that day? What would be said about me if this was it today? What would be said to me? What would be my story today? So I decided that day I was no longer playing small. I decided that day that I am going to, as I like to say, work the brakes off of this life. That when I go and see Jesus, he says, girl, you ain't got nothing up here left because you used it all when you were down there. You hear me? Because I stopped looking at challenges as woe is me and oh my gosh, this means I'm not supposed to be doing it. No, I looked at challenges like, wow, that's something that's trying to get me off course. I won't let it. And I'm going to keep persevering and pushing through. So embrace the mess in your message. Get you a coach, get accountability, get a mentor, and then realize that challenges are a part of the journey and don't get off the journey.
Whew, I just got chills, honey. I need a minute.
Sorry.
Yes. So powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You got me speechless. I can't, let me go to the questions. I can't even talk right now. You took the words out of my mouth. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I know I'm not the only one feeling something right now.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing that because, wow.
Because I spent a lot of my life crying. And I mean, that doesn't mean I still don't cry. I was crying yesterday. That doesn't mean I still don't cry. But I spent a lot of time talking about, I can't believe this keeps happening to me. And I just realized, Roshanda, you know, as my coach told me, she said, the practical keeps us humble. You know, you're going on these stages. I'm going to Paris in May, but I still got to change poopy diapers.
That's right.
These kids
still got to wash the dishes.
I still wash
That's
the
right.
dishes.
That's right.
It's a part of the journey. It's a part of life. So stop looking at challenges as a bad thing and say, this is a challenge. I can handle that.
Right. And I think that part you've mentioned about how we love to put stuff on the Lord.
Yeah.
Right. You know, like, oh, this must be a sign. This must be the Lord telling me I ain't supposed to do it. What good has ever come easy? Nothing.
Preach that.
Nothing.
Nope.
So I don't know what you thought about this entrepreneurship life, but I'm here to tell you, and I'm sure you would agree, consider yourself informed. It ain't easy.
Yes.
So if easy is what you're looking for, this ain't it.
This ain't it. And here's the thing. You earn your stripes when you understand that this wasn't easy. You know, you earn your stripes, and then you're able to help another sister earn her stripes. Because now you can show her, hey, I did it that way, or I thought about it this way. You don't want to go that way. That's what it's about. Your story gives other permission. You ready for this? Either permission to show up or not show up. Either way, your story gives others permission.
That's right. That's right. Can't keep it to yourself.
That's right.
I heard a great speaker one time say, we should want to become the footnote in somebody else's story. So when they tell their story, you're in it because you help them along their journey.
I love that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's good.
All right, so we got a few questions. How do we get a replay? That's easy. It'll be up for, the 24 hours that Instagram gives. We also will have it on our YouTube channel, so make sure you go there and subscribe. And we will post a link on Facebook as well.
Cool.
Okay. All right. What else? What we got? Okay, question from official author Angie. Hey, girl, she's one of our vendors for this year. Key points or advice for a speaker reel for a children's book author.
So, from what I know about a speaker reel, you want to be able to highlight who you are. I'm going to assume that you're saying you being the author of the book. So you want to highlight your experience, your authority on being able to speak on this particular topic, whether it's you speaking on the stage, you reading to children, you sharing a little bit of your story on why you decided to write this book. You want to include that in the speaker's reel. I mean, I think a speaker's reel, a lot of times people just put like snippets of them speaking, but I think what makes for a powerful speaker's reel is you sharing your story. That's what people buy. Facts tell, but stories sell every single time. And so if you are showing your story there, I think that's what people buy into when it comes to a speaker's reel. I hope that answered your question. And if you want to add to that, sis, please feel free to do so.
No, that sounds good. And you'll have you share your contact info at the end, of course, so folks who want to follow up for more details, they can.
Sure.
We're getting a whole lot of well and yes and say that and preach. My sister JD Mommy says, thanks for the nugget. Side note, your glasses are bomb.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. A question from Regal T. Cameron. She wants to know, should I have a name for my TV broadcast like yours, The Rosho?
I love that. Hey, Regal, good to see you. I think you should brand what you're doing. So, Red Table Talk, and they have a red table. I think you should totally brand what you're doing. The RoshoLive came from a nickname that I received at every television station I worked at. It followed me. And it started with, people just saying, oh, as a producer, oh, you're going to go do the Rosho. And I said, yeah. They said, you get it? The Rosho? And I said, yeah. And it's very funny. I just started branding it really seriously about 3 years ago. And look what we've done in 3 years. And it came because people instinctively who didn't even work in TV started just calling me that. And I just was like, why is this name following me? And my web developer, shout out to the Guild Agency and Jessica Boyd, she took me out to lunch one day and she just said, you need to brand the Rosho. And I just said, what? And she's like, that's so people know you. They don't know the name of your company. The name of my company is the Rep Network. Nobody knows who that is. So, I wanted to mark this. I wanted to be able to say, yes, this is our show. So yes, if you have something that it aligns with your brand and it aligns with the message of who you are, I think you should totally brand that and have a name. So that way people know this is what we're going to see.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. We have a question from Katrina for the people. Hey, Katrina for the people. She wants to know regarding branding. Is it better to start a new page or change your personal page?
So I'm going to talk specifically around Facebook for this because you're talking about personal page. And I know you could do the same thing here on Instagram. I think your personal page, you should have that. My personal page, Roshanda Pratt. But I have a business page called The RoshoLive. That's where I go do business. And I think what's happened, especially in the Facebook streets, a lot of people are conducting business on their personal page and not realizing that is against Facebook rules. And they will shut you down if it so happens. Remember, we just rented this space. So I definitely think you should have a space for, and this is what I'm doing personally, and then this is the brand. Okay? For me, the Rosho, which you can follow me here on Instagram, the RoshoLive, of my personal brand, my person, who I am, mom, wife, and then also the RoshoLive, because the two are very much separated, the two, because it's a part of who I am. I mean, the 16-month-old's nickname is Baby Show. It's a part of who I am. So
right.
I just keep the two connected.
Yeah, I would agree. I think what we find a lot of is that people
they usually don't mix the two very well.
Yeah.
And we have a hard time, and we're trying to teach and grow and our vendors and our community to know that if you have a business, then you should have a page that represents that business. Now,
Yes.
there are some entities where your personal life, but it has to be in sync. It has to be in alignment with
Right.
it. It can't just be completely opposite or something that's
Right.
contrary to what it is you're trying to promote and do,
Exactly.
because then your audience is confused, right? They
Right.
don't
You,
know who
you
you
can't be,
are or what you're doing.
the brand strategist, but then you're also on Facebook trying to sell Avon. I'm not
Yes.
saying there's anything wrong with selling Avon, but how do you want me to see you? And see, the Rosho
Mm-hmm.
Live is a total thing. It's the total family. It's the
Mm-hmm.
kids. It's my husband. I mean, they come on sometimes as guests on the show. So it's a whole
Mm-hmm.
part of the thing. So it's nicely woven together because it's a part of the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you also have to think about what you can manage, right?
Right.
So if you know that you cannot manage 2 pages,
Right.
then you have to
Very
choose,
good.
right? And if you have a business, it should be a business page.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should not be choosing being able to post, pics with your girls drinking or whatever you're doing
Right.
over something that's going to help grow your business.
Totally.
And I think a lot of people also don't realize that having a business page brings other benefits that a personal page does not have, right? So you
Exactly.
don't get data, you don't get reporting, you don't get a lot of the features that come along with having a business page on Facebook and Instagram that you do with a personal. So
That's
if
very
you know
good.
that you can't handle managing 2 pages and you have to choose, then you should be choosing business,
Yep. That's very good.
and work that thing. Okay, can you give Tev on Insta? Tev on Insta is our social media marketing coordinator. Shout out to Tev. She says, can you give any tips on trademarks?
Well, I just did the process, and I
Hmm.
cannot give any tips on that. However, if you go to my business page, The Rose Show Live on Facebook, this past Monday, I just did an extensive interview with a brand attorney, LaConda Murray, Protect Your Mark, about trademarks. So we talk about
Hmm.
copyrights, trademarks, patents, the whole 9 yards. It was a very good interview.
That's good stuff. Tev, you can grab that because we're gonna have to share that with
Yeah,
our
it was
audience
really
if we
good. It
can.
was really good. So it's
Hmm.
right there on my business page for Media Monday. So you can grab that and take a look at it. It was a really good interview.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, I think we got through all the questions. Tell
It's no
everybody.
W. Sorry about that. It's TheRoShoLive.
Okay,
No W.
no W in the Rosho, Tev.
Hmm.
Okay, so tell everybody where they can find you,
Sure.
how they can stay in touch with you, and anything you have coming up that they might want to know about.
So much coming up. So much coming up.
Hmm.
Well, you can connect with me across all social media platforms as The Rosho Live. TheRoShoLive. The Rosho Live. We have a YouTube page with about 100 videos, tutorials, some of our great Media Monday content there, and some of our media interviews. You can go there and check it out on YouTube. And of course, join us on Facebook Live every Monday at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for what we call Media Monday. And I'm really excited because this coming Monday, we're going to be speaking to my business boo, Socially Nina, about how to grow your YouTube page and what we call the YouTube side hustle.
Mm. I hope y'all got that.
Yeah.
If you didn't, make sure you catch the replay. Um, quick, thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
And you can also add to your calendar, and everybody, Roshanda will be at the Sisters in Business Expo again in Columbia, South Carolina, on August the 10th. And so, yes, honey, yes, we're gonna go ahead and claim that right now. Um, but thank you. You were so amazing, and we really appreciate you being with us tonight. Just a few quick announcements while I have everybody's attention.
Thank you.
We are gearing up for our 2019 tour. Our first stop is April 13th in Newark, New Jersey.
We are less than
Wow.
a month away now, so be sure to get your tickets. It's going to be an amazing day, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Robert Treat Hotel. We have over 100 vendors confirmed. We have our keynote speakers, the one and only Ms. Vivica A. Fox, who was with us in Columbia last year,
Mhm.
as well as Sharia Jackson, former senior editor of Essence Magazine. We have our superpower panel with some amazing sisters right here from the New York, New Jersey area who are doing great things in business, as well as our authorpreneur panel, where we will be highlighting women who have added author to their list of titles and how becoming an author can help to grow and solidify your brand. And so it's going to be a really amazing day. The whole family is welcome. Children under 12 are free. Bring men, everybody's welcome. So we hope to see you there on April 13th. Then we're in Philly, July 13th. Vendor spaces are still available for that one. Tickets will be on sale later this month.
Wow.
We have some big announcements coming for that as well. August the 10th, we'll be in Columbia, back in the Metro. Really excited to come back. This year we'll be at the Brookland Banquet and Conference Center. Vendor spaces are available for that as well, and tickets will be on sale later this month. And last but not least, we will be in the ATL again, back in Atlanta on September 7th. So make sure you stay tuned with what we're doing. Join our mailing list where we send
Yeah.
all the details. You can do that right with the link in our bio, and just continue to share and let folks know about what we're trying to do by providing a platform where women of color can grow and expand their businesses in the best way possible. Thank you again to Roshanda for being with us tonight. Thank you to all of you for
Thank
hanging out
you.
with us tonight. We wish you all an amazing weekend. And as always, just remember there's nothing that can happen to you week or anytime that you and God cannot handle together. So everybody have a great evening. Thank you for being with us, and we will see you next week for our Founders Chat on Tuesday next week. We will be with Rosalind and Gabby Goodwin of Gabby's Bows. It's going to be really, really great. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you get your tickets for Newark, folks. You don't want to miss it. I promise you it's going to be bananas. So we'll see you there. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.